All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am in paradise today. We're out on the cliffs at Torrey Pines Glider Port. I'm here with Flight Director Gabriel Jebb, and we're also joined here with Azalea, and she loves to kind of roam the grounds here, but what an ideal day today. Isn't it gorgeous out?
No, it's fantastic today.
So not just the sunshine, but the wind conditions have to be right too. And so what do you look for in the best wind conditions to take off?
We like it to come as west as possible so that it can hit the cliff directly. And what it'll do is it'll deflect upwards. And so we fly the same way the birds do. We soar in that, what we call the lift band, that air that's moving vertically. And so today it's coming almost perfectly straight in.
And so this is really relatively safe out here, right? I mean, the amount of incidents you have, you said it to me earlier.
1 in 100,000.
1 in 100,000.
We're probably 50, 60, 70 times safer than our second closest competitor. Much safer than driving the car. Yeah.
Now that's for the tandems. For this over here, when there's people that you don't really control, the independent people that come up flying, probably a little bit higher because they push the limits on that.
We have a couple a year. And, you know, it's one of those things where it really comes down to personality type. There's people that when they drive, they stay in their lane, they follow the speed limit. And then there's guys that when they're riding their motorcycle, they're doing wheelies at 140 on the freeway.
You're right.
And, you attract both types, right? One's going to be more likely to have an incident, the other one won't.
And it's probably people getting out there flying beyond their means. You know, it's a lot like we talked about black diamond skiing. You know, the guy sees all his friends going up, so well, I'll give it a shot. Not really ready for it though.
Yeah, so especially in springtime when the conditions are a lot stronger, we'll have big groups of people because the flying season here starts earlier than anywhere else in North America. Usually mid-February, end of February, and most of the places in North America don't start till April or May. So we get a lot of people out here that haven't flown for quite a while, and they see their friends go up and fly, and maybe they don't have quite the skill level, and so they kind of push the limits a little bit. It's always pilot error, pilot judgment.
Now, the history of this area here, I didn't realize that it dates back quite a ways. I mean, you're talking Wright brothers that were thinking about using it.
Octave Chanute, who was the mentor for the Wright brothers, when they were trying to figure out where to fly their plane, the first time he actually recommended San Diego. He recommended the cliffs right here before he recommended Kitty Hawk, but they saw some pictures of the glider port. They saw 350, 400-foot cliffs, and they thought, well, if our plane doesn't work, that might hurt. So.
Landing strip, key component, landing.
They say...
Takeoff's easy.
Yeah, well, they say launching's optional, landing's mandatory, right? But, you know, Charles Lindbergh learned how to fly here. He used to fly from Mount Soledad, cruise the cliffs of Torrey Pines. Used to land on the beach, but then eventually started landing on the top. His wife, Ann Lindbergh, became the first certified female pilot in America, and she learned how to fly here. The U.S. Army Air Corps used to teach pilots to fly in gliders before they actually put them in airplanes. So the cliffs here during World War II were busy with sailplane flying as they were training the new pilots. Wow,
no kidding. Well, Lindbergh Field, of course.
Lindbergh Field.
You think about some of the famous places around here where that's a big deal. And aviation, San Diego is really, it's an aviation.
This town was built on aviation. Yeah, I mean, between Reuben H. Fleet, Consolidated Aircrafts, Hughes that was up in LA but had facilities here, the original iterations of General Dynamics, all of those were based here in San Diego.
Was this sort of like a testing area maybe for some of their aircraft, you think?
I don't think the cliffs here were per se, but you know, San Diego is just a big seaport and you know, real important military town, so a lot of prototyping and testing took place here.
Now you have you can fly aircraft. You have licensing.
Yeah, I've got private pilot's license. I've got hang gliding, paragliding, sailplane flying. I've got all sorts of flying licenses, if you will. Only thing I probably can't fly is a helicopter. On video games I can, but not.
Yeah, you can crash and burn all you want there.
Exactly.
But you prefer this?
I do. I mean, this is as close to being a bird as you can get. You know, we either fly the ridge lift, which I was explaining earlier. When we go fly out in the mountains in San Diego, we'll go up to 16,000 feet. We fly thermals, which is basically, you learned in your science class that hot air rises, and it rises either like a column or in sort of a bubble. And when you see the birds just kind of circling and going up, we do the exact same thing. We can go hundreds of miles, stay in the air for hours at a time. And I think everybody that comes out here dreams of flight, and you don't dream of being 18,000 feet up with cabin pressurization and in-flight service. You dream of flying low and slow and kind of gliding over the terrain, and that's that's really what this does.
Oh, this is going to be a very exciting day. Well, we couldn't ask for a better day to come out here. It's gorgeous. And such a great friendly person here in Azalea who's been between my legs during the entire interview. In fact, I think we're probably going to end this with me throwing the ball, or maybe you give it up. Give it a toss. Right.